kind of the practical realization of the dream Bernard and I had almost 45 years ago. It is. Next year will be literally 45 years, January 1972. He turned 21. He'd been in the Willowbrook State School right on Staten Island here in New York City for almost his entire life, 18 years. He was admitted at the age of 3 when his mom was convinced that that's the only appropriate way to care for people with disabilities was to institutionalize, warehouse them. I had no young reporter in New York for Eyewitness News. I had no connection to the developmentally disabled. In those days, we called them the mentally retarded, and there was a whole spectrum of various disabilities. Bernard was not in any way retarded. He has his own medical issues, but they had nothing to do with his mental capacity, his IQ. But like everyone else, he was just, one size fits all. And the idea was at the state level to attain the efficiency of scale, kind of like the way they produce automobiles on an assembly line. The idea is that you get as many done in as little time and as little space as possible. So in Willowbrook, as Robert points out, 6,000 residents called students. It was a lie. It was never a state school. It was a state holding pen for people with disabilities. Through some contacts I had with activist doctors, we got a hold of a key to one of the wards that Bernard had just been liberated from on his 21st birthday. We could legally sign him out. I went into that place, Building 6, the B ward, and in a way you're blessed in the sense that society has largely moved past the horror that existed in those days. But to just think that in the living memory of so many in New York and around the country and around the world, a place like that existed right here in the center of the universe in New York City. 60 young people being attended to by one visible attendant, another one dropped in later, so 60 to 1, later 60 to 2. People with disabilities that range from the profound to severe. A horror that, as I said, I had no experience for, I had no preparation for, they told me it would be bad, as I say in the now famous documentary, but it was horrible. It's interesting, the film, I think you want to see a clip from it, and I think the pictures will speak louder than my words. The fact that with the internet, in the late 80s, early 90s, we could, having saved the original film, digitize it and put it on the internet and allow succeeding generations to see what we saw in January 1972 for the first time. And now, I think it's fair to say that in virtually every sociology class in the land, students are shown this film. And why is it important? It is important because as you work with community options or similar community-based residences, you deal with, on a daily basis, the frustrations, the challenges, the desire to maximize the life opportunities for the residents, state funding, federal funding, all of those challenges that you have. What I urge, and the reason I accepted the invitation this morning, and believe me, it's part of my life on a regular basis, is that people have to understand how far we have come from those grim, old, nightmarish days. There are few issues in American, in Western life where there has been so successful a transformation, so, to use the word again, profound a change, a difference from the way things were. So I'm sure that many, if not most of you, have already seen the film or parts of it. I think it would be appropriate at this point, and Robert, I don't know how much of it you want to show.
Why?
All right, so why don't we take a trip to the February 1972 Eyewitness News documentary, Willowbrook, The Last Great Disgrace.